Okay, welcome to the Helen Plum Board of Trustees meeting for August 19th, 2025. The meeting is called to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the Helen Plum Library Board of Trustees unanimously acknowledges that many indigenous people groups have once lived on the land where the library now resides. The library invites all to learn their histories, cultures, and peoples. The library board encourages our neighbors to explore learning opportunities through local indigenous-based organizations such as Midwest Soaring Foundation.
Thank you. Jen, we have a roll call.
Allison Pinkett Floyd.
Here.
Sue Wiggins.
Here.
Julie Kowalski-Smith. Here. Ginger Kearney. Here. Kristen Walsh. Here. Tejal Patel.
Here.
Kelly Sims.
Here.
Thank you. I do not see anyone here for public comment, so may I have a motion for adoption of the agenda?
I move for the adoption of the agenda.
A second, Ginger. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next action item. Motion carries. Next action item, we have a motion for approval of the consent agenda items.
I move for approval of consent agenda items. Approval of minutes from the special board meeting August 12th, 2025. Approval of financial reports, including check registers dated July 31st, 2025. Cash and investment reports dated July 31st, 2025. Revenues and expenditures versus budget reports dated July 31st, 2025. Balance sheet previous year comparison as of July 31st, 2025.
A second, Ginger. I think was
I
right.
did.
Okay.
Just finding out. On page 7 of the overall packet, it's the check register.
Yes.
I just was curious, I hadn't noticed ever before, or might have to happen before, but motion picture licensing corporations?
We have to pay in order to show any movies in the library.
Okay.
So we did, I think, what did we recently show? It was in the kids area. Wild Robot we just showed. So
Okay.
anytime we show a movie, we do have to pay for the licensing.
Interesting.
So it's a blanket license.
Alright, I was just curious, I hadn't noticed that before, and then also I noticed the Helping Hands commercial cleaning. This might not be the best time, but I just was curious if there's any input about that change, because that was a change. I believe in June, May or April.
Yeah,
for the
so
company.
staff have been happy with the change, and I
Okay.
think they're more responsive in terms of cleaning projects. They were the ones responsible for figuring out how to clean the terrazzo stairs in the hub. There was kind of a film on them from when they finished them, and they're much shinier now.
Oh,
But in general, the flooring and the cleaning techniques are improved, so we're
Okay,
happy
good.
with them.
thanks.
If you do notice anything, please let me know.
No, I haven't, I just was wondering, the staff, I feel like you guys are in here interacting more with the building, so I just was curious. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a question on page 1 of the check register. The nanny making music.
Yeah,
has
that's
a
a,
0, is that correct, or?
which page
It's
are you
under
on? Sorry.
page 1 of the
Page
check
one.
register.
Oh,
Page 7.
It's like 6 or, well, 7 or 8 there.
Yeah,
it could be that this was a canceled check. I will confirm.
okay.
I think that's usually what that means, but
Was she was that a vendor or just
she's a children's performer. She comes in pretty
Okay.
regularly. So I'm not sure if it was just a canceled or voided check, but
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I feel like I had there was and this is probably just my, not. Under debt service fund on the revenue expenses versus budget report, page 4, the fiscal agent fee. What does that encompass?
That's the management fee for the fund itself, which is why, one of the reasons why we wanna, yeah, there are fees associated with the account just for having the account. That is one of
Okay.
them, yeah, and we'll get charged for transferring money out of that account too. It's just one of the Fifth Third charges.
And that's an
Okay.
annual fee,
Oh, it's with
like that's
Fifth
one
Third.
fee, one
It's-
time, or is it monthly?
It's not I don't think it's monthly, but it's, there will be multiple charges related to the fiscal agent fee.
Cause the heading above says July 20, it encompasses our entire fiscal year.
But this is
So it
just for
wasn't-
the first month,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, great. Anybody else? No, okay, all in favor of approval of the consent agenda items as written, stated, and reviewed? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, motion carries. Okay, next, committee and foundation reports, audit committee.
We're meeting September 4th.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Director Relations Committee.
Yes, we met, we organized material to send out for the evaluation for the director. That's been sent out. It is due back on the 29th, but people have been turning them in as they complete them. So we will be able to meet as soon as we have everything together and compile the report for next month.
Okay, thank you, Ginger.
And is that, staff leadership, like directors?
Yes,
Okay.
leadership as well as everyone on staff, so we have two different evaluation forms. So direct reports to Ann have one evaluation report, which is more detailed, and then all staff have a more generalized evaluation form. And then, of course, the self-evaluation.
Okay, Policy and Bylaws Committee.
We are also meeting on September 4th, probably after, I think.
Okay, thank you. And the foundation.
So the Helen Plum Foundation had another fundraiser event and we garnished 107.
Nice, and that was with the,
El Famous Burrito.
nice.
So we are at right at $1,000 so far for this summer for the foundation. So
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys are cooking. All right, communications, anything?
I didn't have received anything.
All right, executive director's report already.
I don't have much this week, since we met last week.
Exactly. Yeah, that works. All right. Moving on to the library activity report. Anybody have any commentary?
If I could back up to the director's report for a moment.
Yes.
Do we have any update on that sensor for the elevator?
Not yet. I think we were waiting once again for a part. But I can follow up with
Well,
Bill.
Yeah, because I thought we were at the 5 or 6 week mark of a 6-week wait.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't been at the library on the 2nd floor recently to try the elevator, but I know it's probably still not working properly.
It's still the same. But at least it only does one time.
It's pretty consistent with.
Yep, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
I had a couple questions.
yeah.
First of all, I think that adult programming is just really cool, and it seems like there's a lot of people who are, so kudos to you guys. I wondered on the 411, how many people can be handled in that room? Like the attendance of 22, that's over those 6 sessions, right? Is
Yes.
that- Okay, like how many people can fit? Is that, I guess it
So
depends.
how
on
many
what
people
they're
can
doing.
fit versus how many people can effectively do a project are two
They're
different
two
things.
different things.
So
yeah.
realistically, like we'll do up to 6 appointments at a time, depending on the equipment.
Okay.
But you need space for a lot of these projects, so it's
Yeah.
not. I think we have planned for an environment that could accommodate, a class of 20, but if
Mhm.
it's sewing or if it's crickets or if it's other things, you need space, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of depends on what they're doing.
okay. Let's see. Oh, and then the under community connections, the
Mhm.
Sky Center summer visit.
Yes,
So is that? something that's not open to the public, right? They
Correct.
just did their own event.
So they partnered with us to do an event for those students.
Okay,
It would be like they do a summer camp for kids throughout the
Okay.
whole summer. So it'd be like when we partner with the Park District or
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts or other groups,
Okay.
so.
so is that, I guess that's something we can talk about, if that's something we would want to do more of, or if you feel maxed out on that.
I think it kind of just. This is representative of some of the things that we're doing,
Yeah.
really, so it's just if they're willing to come here and want us
Yeah.
to. I think they have a pretty standard practice in terms of making sure that there's something engaging for those students to participate in, but. I know the summer was very busy in youth services, so I'm not sure at what point we'll kind of tip the.
Yeah.
Maybe this is too much, but
Right,
I think we've actually worked with Sky for a few years now. I want
Yeah.
to say we started working with them before COVID. So I think a lot of these things too are coming back from pre-COVID levels, which
Yeah.
is a good thing. So
Are they bringing an activity and we're providing the space, or is
So
it
we
looking to us? to
providing an
provide a
activity
whole-
and the space and the kids usually hang out for a while. I think I walked through when they were here and part of it was planned. And then they also just like played on the computers and looked at
Yeah.
books and just explored the space.
Nice.
Just as an opportunity to walk over to the library.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many other organizations are doing things like that, or if it's just sort of. If that was an area for growth, or it could get to be too much, I guess it's like a balance, like you said.
Yeah, the youth team is really good at making those judgments in terms of, can we accept this month? Should we push it to next month? What more can we do? So,
Mhm.
I think what's nice about Sky Center is it skews a little bit older. So it's more grade school age and
Yeah.
less preschools.
Yeah. Cool.
Mhm.
That's it.
Anybody else have anything for the library activity report? Okay, well, we are moving on to new business then.
I don't know if this was considered permit. I just have a question. I was a little confused, but I thought last week you said that the Plum meeting group, the meeting, is what, page 3
Mhm.
of the stats? It looks like it's down.
It's down from
Month
last,
to month?
so, we happen to have fewer events in the Plum meeting rooms.
Oh,
for
so
patrons.
okay, so these are the.
But that's because it was probably really busy with our stuff.
Okay,
I can also add a little bit of context on that. A lot of the events that we had were longer events, so it was one reservation, but a whole
whole day,
day.
okay.
Or, 4 hours, so
okay.
that cut down on availability.
Should we? Like, count it like that, because that would be so if it's busy the whole day, it's.
So these counts are based on those IPLAR stats that we looked at. Was that last week?
Mhm.
That we looked at last week.
Okay.
So we base our statistics on what Illinois requires us to submit. So they look at single uses. They don't say,
Okay.
oh, that room was used for 4 hours, so it's 1 tick per hour. No, it's just the one.
Okay. All right,
And on our end, we set up the room and then we walk away. We're not
Yeah.
really engaging anymore. Because it's their event in our space. So it's, for us, it's neither here nor there. It's just,
but it's nice to know like how much the community is using the library, and
yeah.
these stats don't fully reflect that as.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Um,
all right, new business?
I have one more question.
Yep. right, so-
I'm sorry. Kimberly Sipic,
Yes,
is she full-time or part-time?
she is full-time.
Okay, so her title kind of speaks for itself?
I think so. I hope so. Yeah, so she's
Oh,
working in
she'll
marketing.
be, it's marketing, okay.
Yes, and she'll be partnering with other departments on coordinating outreach and community engagement events.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, regarding new business, the discussion of the sword analysis.
Thank you.
Sure. As soon as get some.
All right, so I hope you guys
Data.
took some time to review the planning discussion. We included it in this packet as well, and I think we sent it in an email. we are going to talk through these 4 different categories. I'm gonna be standing up at the dry erase board and writing down as much as I can. Jen's also gonna write things down. But if something is obviously omitted, can you just let me know, because we do want to make sure we're tracking everything. We'll move from section to section. I'll dramatically flip the board around, probably more awkward than dramatic. And we'll keep going, and then at the end, we'll take some photos of it so that Tyler and I can look at all the things that you said and say, okay, here's the themes, here's what we're taking from staff, and go and do our thing. Do you have any questions about this process before we get started? All right, one thing I want to mention, Sue, specifically, sometimes it can be really hard to participate, I think even just in the comments on the report. So we're going to try to make sure at the end, or as we're kind of closing the strength section, opportunities, etc., that we'll say, Sue, anything to add, in case you're not getting a word in edgewise. Additionally, after this meeting, we'll be sending out a survey as a follow-up with these same questions. So if you walk away and you're like, I really meant to say this, you have an opportunity to still share that. I do want you guys to not get too stuck in the process. We're gonna ask questions, we're gonna jot things down. I am gonna try to be mindful of the time, because I want to keep this at about 60 minutes. So I may ask us to kind of move along, or hey, did we get the idea? Thank you. Anything to add, Tyler?
Yeah, I think with SOAR, like this specific strategic planning tool, some of you may have used like a SWOT analysis in the past, things like that. So I think with the SOAR, we're really trying to be positive and why we went with this method instead of doing like a SWOT analysis. So we're really trying to focus on like building our strengths. Again, we're not trying to like rehash past issues or make a laundry list of things that we don't like or problems. So it's just, again, yeah, being focused, building on each other's contributions. So classic improv, like yes, and, no, but, we can't do that because of this. So we don't want to get kind of bogged down in that kind of thinking. And also like think big, I think too. So, you can think small, think big, but I would say you're encouraged to kind of dream in this scenario. Nothing is too big. We'll kind of square that on the back end.
Well, like, don't think too much about like, how are we gonna get to that big
Yeah.
idea? It's that this is the big idea.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is what this is meant to be. So we'll figure out how we can make it work later. So, yeah,
In time.
yeah, we're not here to solve problems. We're here to dream, I guess you could say. So does anybody have any questions before we jump into this? So, the other thing too, these questions here for strengths, opportunities, aspirations, and results. These are those kind of questions. We're not trying to answer each of these questions either. Those are just kind of there to spark ideas and things like that. So if there's not any questions, I think we'll just kind of open discussion about what do you all feel is the library's strengths? What do we do well? What do you hear from the community? And, what do you think the community values?
I would say that I feel like the staff really likes working here. You can tell when people are crabby about their jobs and stuff. So I think the culture here must be fairly positive.
So staff, like, working here, the staff is competent, so, people.
Well, that was a given. I'm just saying, my point was that we have the right culture, that people enjoy working here, which is another important thing.
Competent staff.
As well as friendly and helpful. Patient friendly and helpful.
I think we provide the community with a space that's theirs. They can come and sit, they can come connect with friends, they can come and browse what's on the stacks. They don't have to come for any particular purpose, they can really just come and.
I would say it's a welcoming, but I think it's a very welcoming environment. I've heard people rave about the new building. People really, really like the building, and nobody has said it, but I wonder if it's also because it's not as dungeony looking as.
It's an absolute upgrade. It's an absolute upgrade, 1,000%.
No, you're being
Right.
our children's programs are highly exciting and engaging. It's so loud.
I would say to add other programs, like the technology programs, as well as the, like you mentioned, the senior programs or adult program.
Yeah, the technology too.
And
Have
crafts.
been highly. And I feel like that's new because we were always known for strong youth programs. I feel like having a child who's grown up here, but we just didn't have the space for the technology and the adult programming. I think that studio, is just, I think it's just adding a new dimension to what a library can, the horizons people can have. And I do intend to do a podcast.
Well, I guess like, I don't know if this goes on in the new building or just in general, the space we provide, like whether it's the community rooms, the study room. The robin's nest downstairs is so much bigger and the toys are being changed out so much more frequently, or like with a theme, like all that is really well received.
I want to say the location of the building being on more of a main thoroughfare, along with a real parking lot.
Yes.
Although it's full sometimes. Yesterday, I think there were cars on the street. In the morning.
Yeah, that was one of my opportunities, is we need more parking.
We'll put that in the parking lot.
Oh, I was thinking, is it possible, like across the street, there's like an open lot, do people?
Let's stay on task.
Yeah.
Stay on task and then.
We're on the right
Yeah,
track though.
you're on the right track.
Cause I've thought of it, yes.
Okay, all right.
It's
Yeah.
been like that for a while.
Yeah.
You know if that, cause when,
Yeah,
We're not solving that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just dreaming big.
Hold that thought.
I think the online resources,
Yes.
like,
Thank you.
the New York Times, Washington Post.
I mean, even this, I just met with my clubs that they were reaching out, Smithy and Hoopla.
Yeah, all that.
that
My
just
daughter
really
just said that today, she's like, I didn't know I could do all that. So I would say that library keeps up with, like, we're not just traditional books, I think the library is keeping up with technology and trends and community needs, which is, like, we've got our finger on the pulse.
Hmm. Sue, do you have any ideas or strengths?
Well, I agree with everything else that I've been hearing. Staff was the first thing that came to my mind. And then our new building, the location, so I'm just mirroring what was in my thoughts.
Our marketing department and the emails and social media, we do incredibly well. We just have a great dynamic staff there. I had people at ALA telling me they knew about our library because they had seen it online.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. And these were random people.
Right, I think our online presence is very, like our website and everything that
Yeah,
is all.
and our emails that go out along with all of that social media.
And I would say for our website, ease of use, because I'm constantly reserving books and. Google is so easy and, you know, all of it, so
Mhm.
finding books, getting onto the Illinois reservation site. From ours
Find more.
works too.
Now, I'll just go back to marketing, I think the branding is consistent across everything, which makes it very nice, because the color schemes and all that, I think that's very helpful.
Yes. I don't know if it needs to be more specific, but I hear a lot of people say with the bookable space. Like with more people working from home, like a guy I know, like he has a rotation of, one day I go to the library, another day I go to Panera, another day I go to, and like he sees this. You know, there's a lot of people that book that space and work from that space, and then also high school kids definitely study here and meet up to do projects, and so I think it's become like a destination in a way that our old library never could be, and that just makes me so happy to see that, you
Yeah, so
know.
the hub effect.
Did anybody mention book delivery?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that
Yeah.
is, like, just services, community, like passport services as well.
Although not having it apparently at one time got my husband in the building to get books for his mother.
So we got the tour.
Yeah, and he brags, I have a library card. Wow.
The book clubs in a bag.
That's super cool.
Awesome.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, yours?
Yeah.
She's writing it down.
She was
Yeah.
writing.
Oh, okay, now I got sound, thank you.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up the strengths.
Okay, yeah, I think we got about, staying on track, we got about a minute left, so if anybody, Sue, do you have any last minute thoughts? Before we move on?
Oh,
No, not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more thing, and this is kind of a little bit esoteric, but under your point of what does our community value most about the library? I think just, like having pride in the library, so strength is giving the community feeling of pride, I think is one of our strengths, because, you know, I think sometimes Lombard feels a little bit, diminished between like Glenelg and Elmhurst. And I think having this library has really elevated, you know, it's something we lacked in our community, that I think a library can be like the heartbeat of a community. And I think a lot of people feel a sense of pride about the library now. So I think that's a real add to the Lombard community.
Just me. Like you said, like, we have a strong system and policies in place to like keep the library running efficiently, and dynamically, like to adjust as things are, so I think that's a strength.
Okay, one thing did come to my mind. I'm sorry, did I just talk over somebody? The hours that we are open. I know I personally love that we're open so late into the evening during the week and open on Sundays.
Yes.
I think that's a huge plus.
It's a great point.
All right, is that our 15 minutes?
Yeah.
We
10.
did,
10, yeah.
we didn't fill it up. About 10 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna move on.
Okay.
All right, yeah, so, with opportunities, I think we're really thinking about, you know, how can we like look forward? And like what opportunities exist? And I encourage you all to think about too, not just opportunities like within the building, you know, it's available here, but like opportunities that also exist in the community as well. So like inward and outward, as we reflect on this. So we've already established parking. Or maybe that could be that may be an aspiration.
Parking as an aspiration, well, does that mean that
But
my, what are the, solar panels is aspirational, or is that an opportunity? Where's that gonna go?
Aspiration.
Aspirational?
I put that under aspiration.
so, yeah, opportunities are more, yeah, like trends in the community. I'm gonna look into these focusing questions, you know, how is the community changing, things that we can potentially.
So then the first opportunity I would say is I feel like Lombard is exploding. If you've driven past Yorktown Mall recently, the amount of housing, it feels like we're trying to answer the nation's housing crisis right here in Lombard. So it feels like we're exploding. And because of that, I have a feeling that we're gonna need to do some outreach to that part of town.
Right.
And we talked about the Amazon boxes or some kind of mechanism that allowed for delivery, pickup, anything. That's an opportunity for us.
Yeah. Well, and we talked even last week about the south side, Yorktown will be two areas that definitely we wanna.
I would say right now, we could figure out where our patrons are coming from, what parts of Lombard. Because I would not be surprised if it was skewed more for North Lombard, even north of here. Because south of here, I think people may be going to other libraries. I really
Okay.
believe that, so.
So we need a way to bring them home.
Yep.
Another opportunity would be to connect with businesses within Lombard.
Like a partnership
Or
or?
a whole different ways, so either working with them to have programs there or bringing them in for programs. So we can partner together, like the Sky Center, those kinds of things could be available.
I don't know, the businesses, and I feel like the restaurant scene is kind of expanding,
Yeah.
that was one of the trends. How the community is changing, I wrote that, that's something maybe we can, again, not with outreach or like, I don't know. An opportunity.
I will
Yeah.
share something that I saw on, social media. I don't know if people have heard, but that, Old Dania, location is becoming like a banquet hall type of thing.
Oh, didn't know that.
And, it's been, acquired by a company that has a very, Arab or Muslim sounding name. And there were some comments about what is this? So my husband and I were just Googling, but we wanted to know what was coming there. And one of the comments was there, it's becoming Islam bar. And because I know there's a lot of tea houses and coffee houses that have become there, so I would see that as an opportunity, is that we
Yes,
do need to
for sure.
educate. Our community, so that that doesn't become the prevailing thought amongst our
Yeah,
residents.
yeah, other opportunities would be making connections with the
With
mosques
that
and
community,
with
yeah.
the synagogue we have in town to help with those things.
Well, and like, I,
Religious groups, maybe.
sorry, no, yeah.
I can see you're struggling.
Yeah, no.
What am I?
How much am
Yeah.
I know we've done some of it, but like, working on programming, some opportunities like for financial literacy or the role of civics and the role of government and community, I feel like those are areas. We could respond to needs in the community.
Sort of, I guess, a tangent of that is, I know some libraries have become a resource for people looking for a job or starting a business or that kind of thing. And that could link into
Yeah.
using a local business
Mhm.
person or consultant or whatever as that kind of,
Additional connection.
yeah.
We could like just generalize that to say, is there an opportunity to have more community members present? I don't know if that's something we've thought about. I don't know if there's a liability associated with it, if we
We
just
actually
say.
have some, Sophie Rhodes is doing a small business ownership
Mhm.
program, but it was either at the end of this month or it's next month. So we do have some events that are like that, just as a point of reference.
I don't know if this doesn't offer this aspiration, but I was thinking it'd be kind of nice, it's always hard to get into the 411 classes, by the time you see it and sign up, they're already filled up. So I don't know if we've thought about like a waiting list or a wait, because. If you work, it's gonna be hard, if it's at 9 o'clock, to stop everything and say, I gotta go do this right now. So it's maybe a little bit of an unintentional bias we're introducing of when people can sign up. Maybe we start doing a little bit of a lottery system or something, maybe, it's first come, first served for the first 5 seats, but the next 3 seats are lottery or something.
Or else find a system to add more sessions.
Yes,
What would mean that people would have to come again for another
and maybe
session.
some of the people that are veterans or have been sewing for a while would be willing to help out with some of that or something. It'd be kind of nice, to see that become like a grassroots thing that the people who use it would be wanting to share with others.
Leveraging community members,
Yeah,
and
that's a good way
skills.
of saying it, yeah, just in general.
Take, opportunity. community skills, yeah. Sue, do you have any thoughts on opportunities available to the library?
None that have come to my mind other than what's been said, so.
Well, chime in if you think of anything, we're here.
I have one small home. We need more plugs by those tables, by the wall, by the windows.
More outlets.
Yeah, so some outlets, and my,
Where
for
do
my
you
Mac.
where do you-
So I usually sit by the window of the table, you know, there's those two rows of tables by the window.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's one by, on each pillar usually, if you get it, but if you sit at, and then in the middle, there is one on the floor. But my MacBook wouldn't fit into it, so,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
so, yeah, so
Yeah,
I've seen
sure.
people with Windows be able to use it, but
But the Mac.
Yeah.
Mac.
it does
The
not.
adapter doesn't fit.
Yeah.
to- Yes,
Yeah.
okay, that's good to know.
I have phones about that too.
Yeah,
So it's just a small thing, but a lot of people do use that.
yeah, no, I think that's a great point.
Opportunities to reach homeschool and school children.
We used to have a homeschool hangout, which I came with here at, well, the previous location.
Oh,
Reaching them, I think is also.
Well, reaching them, but also they provided activities, they were once a month activities, and I loved them, and I would love to see us get back to it.
It's like more of like a networking for.
No, it wasn't I mean, you could network, but no, they would have an activity, they were gonna study, let's say, the moon, and you came.
Was
and
it
the
just for
library
high
had-
school?
Well, because it was during the normal course of the day,
Oh.
so it was in the middle of a school day. They
yeah.
had homeschool activities, if you homeschooled, you know, once a month, you could look forward to something at the library that you could, you know, steer students to, which I.
Some of the homeschool people are not as interested in being here.
And that may be true, but I will tell you, it was well attended, Kate ran it, and
Yeah.
she did it for maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
I will tell you, when I brought my kids, you know, they're.
Cause yours are
Well,
essentially,
at the-
you're kind of homeschooling
Oh, yeah.
your kids,
Yeah,
right?
so when I first started, so let's go back 6 years, I had 3 third graders, and we
Yeah.
came to every month. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was a really well
Yeah.
enjoyed, whatever the library was doing at that activity, we enjoyed it, and, you know, didn't have to coincide with what we were doing in school, but we look forward to just coming out to an activity sponsored by the library.
Yeah, on that note, though, I noticed in the Park District, program, they had a ceramics class that was good for homeschoolers, like, because it's during the school day. Or if it was still for kids, so it was listed
yeah.
as that.
I mean, you can look at them,
Yeah.
it's.
So, I mean, that's a paid program, but still.
Yeah, well, and to my point, ours were not, not, our stuff was.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if this is over the top, but like, last year during finals. For high schoolers, I think, didn't you open like one of the Helen Plum rooms for a bunch of kids to study? I don't know if that just happened or if there was any communication with high schools. But if there's any, if maybe that's an opportunity to even send or email the counselors. At like
Did we
Willowbrook
provide-
and East and.
Did we also
Montgomery,
provide
Like find out
the-
when their finals are, and just, well, no, just to let them know. I mean, I think kids just
Just a space, that they
figured
could,
it out, but
Mhm.
just as like. You know, letting the
like during finals.
counselors like,
we're-
hey, the library's gonna have, you know. I mean, just that we have space for kids to stay,
Space
although
and-
I don't know if that's gonna like. Flood the library, but I don't think, you know. They may or may not do anything with that information, but it would just be nice to say, hey, the library's a resource.
Well, we can certainly try it and see,
Yeah.
but again, it's an opportunity.
And I don't even, that could be an outreach to the. Is it CSP, on Madison? CPS, I mean, that's the Islamic school as well. So like Montini, Willowbrook, East and. CPS, those are the 4 high schools, I think, that serve Lombardians.
Okay. Just wrapping up here, we think we're actually a little over time on opportunities. But if anybody has any last minute, Sue, do you have anything come to mind?
When my girlfriend and I started a book club, the Helen Plum Library did not have at that time the book club bags.
Mhm.
I know at one time they were, as soon as you came into the library, they were on a lower shelf so people could see them. I have to say, I honestly have not looked for them lately, but I think that's something that we need to let people know we have, because there are people like my girlfriend and I, it was just those of us who had kids in, the same classrooms. We got together to discuss books. We had a common thing. I know some people at churches create their own book clubs. So I think we need to get that word out.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think opportunity, I mean, just, I guess piggyback, maybe I'm not supposed to. Yeah, promoting services. I think it's maybe what, is what I was hearing, yes, yes. Yes.
While I'm down here,
I don't know how this is accomplished now, but maybe I'm thinking about the beautiful art displays we've had. And if there could be more outreach to local artists or regional artists to display
displays,
things.
I
I don't know
think
how much
actually
is
both
already
of
done,
them.
but
I know the high
maybe there's
school-
room for making that a bigger thing.
The high school art.
The school
for
art, yeah.
sure, They brought that
Right.
up to me last.
All
year.
the
They'd like to
schools,
display here?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's-
actually, all the schools, all the level
Well,
schools,
could be
they all
the
have
schools,
art.
yeah.
And display it in the
And we
school.
could encourage it by saying,
Yeah.
love your art.
Right.
It would be easy to facilitate that at least this year because I'm not a fun house.
I
I mean, this is my last year, I can help facilitate this year.
Okay.
One other thing, and then I'm losing. Or. I don't know what it is.
She stood on.
Done.
Time.
I'll do
Alright.
aspirations.
So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
yes,
still write something.
yes, there's a lot of, when we've done this in the past, it's always a gray area between aspirations and opportunities. But the important thing is we get it on the board, doesn't necessarily matter, always matter where it is. Important thing is we capture it. All right, let's all watch Anne while she does this.
Very graceful.
Graceful.
Very fast.
Gotta,
Channeling my inner Vanna.
this library thing doesn't work out for you, you gotta keep her in.
A question
flipping.
more, with book clubs, are any of them virtual or is a virtual opportunity to call in? Because I know for people that are,
Isn't that the book club though? Like whoever runs it, I don't know, the library's just providing the books, I thought.
okay.
We're not running.
We have book clubs that, yeah,
I
but
don't
Those I
know,
would
I'm
think
thinking of
maybe-
people that are older and can't, or disabled or something and can't
Yeah.
get, it could be a real
hybrid program participation,
hybrid, yeah. There could be real interest in that.
multimodal
For older
programs.
people, yeah, people who aren't as mobile. I would say hybrid would be better,
Yeah.
because then you have your core, and if people do it, or if there's no interest.
To be honest with you, I find, like, I'm sure Sue's experiencing this right now. Hybrid meetings favor people who are in the room.
Yeah.
Always. And
Yeah.
that's why I think it's great. But either it should be all virtual or it should be all, or
Yeah.
some people just need to raise hands and we need to be cognizant of. So it's just
True.
everybody needs.
I think people would only do it if they really could not get to the library.
Mhm.
That's my thought.
But something to explore and
Yeah.
think about.
It made it on there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
So, yes, I think we're moving on to our next one, aspirations. So again, these are,
Sorry.
this is our opportunity to, again, dream big. And we might naturally kind of to start thinking about concrete things like a bookmobile or parking, or accommodating, but I also encourage you to also kind of think about, identity and values and like what we aspire to be as an organization, both, I guess, again, internally and externally, so with that being said, we'll kind of open up for aspirations, and dream big, yeah, like what do we want to be known for in the community?
Well, I like that we're known as, well, I want to be known as a community hub. Certainly was one of our aspirations when we started our strategic planning. So anything that enhances that image, that communicates to the community that this is a place where
you know, you can come and meet with them and all of the things that a hub is known for, the center of the community.
Discover, growth. No.
Right.
Sorry, what did you say?
That sounds
Connect, discover,
familiar.
grow.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Stepson was absolutely, yeah, no, we're good with that.
One, on that line, like, that we're a place that connects the community with resources and connects to the community.
I like that, yeah. Yeah. A lot of different ways we can define connection.
Yeah,
Not just physically, but
Well, digitizing, you know, historical records, like we're already thinking like that, you know, what do we do to make
Resources and connect to the community.
Mhm.
So with this forward, by anything, I'd like us to be known as the reference place. So that whatever your question is, not just your kind of resources, but I'd like people in the community to feel like, if I don't know where to start with this thing, I can always go to the library and they'll point me in the direction. So that's what I mean by the reference place.
Almost like a help desk,
Yes, like the Lombard.
identified place instead of just the regular.
And maybe this is part of like our face of Lombard thing that we were talking about in the other one that, you know, because really. The local government, like with the village and stuff, you don't really, I don't have an occasion to go to the village hall very often. Especially now that everything's been done online with bill pay and everything, I used to go there to get the parking permits and all that, but they stopped that, so you don't need to, or the city permit, whatever. But the library is someplace that I think people come to more often, they have more reason to come here. So we are kind of like the face of Lombard.
Okay, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit and say an outdoor programming space, garden area. I would love to see that, where we have more plants around, where we have little nooks under a tree with a bench kind of thing. Again, we're dreaming big.
Oh, so you're saying I thought you were saying like for people to actually go and garden, but you're saying something that would be maintained by the library, but would be like a reading space.
Yes.
Outdoor reading spaces.
Programming space outside, so right now the kids are taken over to the park. And sit under trees and are read to, if we had the ability to create some garden space or maybe a rooftop garden.
Ooh.
If, you know.
I like the rooftop gardens.
Yeah,
thinking outside the box.
And leading a book club group at an outside place, that would fall into that category.
yeah. Which then goes back to our connections.
It's come to my mind in our book club that to have somebody who had really more inside scoops about authors to come, that would be really cool to have somebody like that at a book club. But I'm sure there are people here if they would want to. But
And also part of that is bringing authors into the library in multiple different ways, because we have the ability to have some of them virtually.
when you're talking about outdoor space,
Mhm.
that the outdoor space over here, I'm not sure what that is for yet, and I would love to, I'm not sure what it is, but the dreams. I would love to see how that,
Utilizing outdoor space.
yeah, utilizing outdoor space,
More programming out there.
yeah. Or even events that,
Mhm.
where people engage and connect.
Right, like, what if there was
And-
just a
And
You
that
know,
could be partnership,
HPL,
Yeah.
HPL's, you know, meet and greet, or
and that
right,
could be
literally
partnership events.
once a month or once every 3 months.
Yeah.
Mixers.
Yeah, you know,
Oh, mixers.
a mixer, yes, there you go, that's where I started to
Yeah.
go.
The other thing that was really cool, and I don't know what shape or form this takes on, but when the vocal jazz group, well, it wasn't vocal jazz, it was actually Eastwind came and I couldn't come, but
That was
moved all the stuff. It was for Christmas, because they always do it then, like it was legally. But I don't know if there's other opportunities to have them come back or
Other music.
even other music. I mean, that's a really large space, so singing is probably gonna be better than playing, because it could get really echoey. But that's just such a beautiful space. It would be great to utilize it for things other than just our own purposes. And that's also great connectivity with the high school. And vocal music is big there. And Brandon Cat, who's the fine arts chair, is always up for, he's big, he wants to get groups out there, he's always up for something. Working with partners, figuring out something new.
I don't know where this would go on your list, but I wrote down that the aspiration is to be, I think we are, but safe and welcoming, to continue that. And then, establish lifelong learning.
Mm.
May I interject something?
Please.
You know, I have heard so many times the, 25 to age 40 group saying, I don't need the library. We need to tell everybody that the library is for everybody of all ages, not just for story time for the little ones, or just for seniors to come for in-person programs. We have the online resources that would be available to this generation that thinks they don't need us because they don't realize that we could save them from spending money that they would then have available at Starbucks if they used our online resources for ebooks and audiobooks, etc. We need to really tell this generation, all generations, that the library is for everybody.
What's that? I don't know, if this aspirations, we've mentioned on the other side, but book lockers. And got that with like the,
It's more far reaching.
yeah,
What do you mean?
book lockers,
So
like,
if people reserve books, they could be stored in lockers on the other side of town or the like space.
Oh,
So that
yeah.
people just pick them up and
Oh, so
return
like
them.
now,
So they
yeah.
cross.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So technology is gonna provide, you get
Yeah.
a code, you can enter, anyway. It's one of the things we're
Yeah.
talking about.
I'd like to see a house have like a coffee bar or something in there where, because I've seen other libraries have it. It'd be kind of nice, so. it's-
When I was gonna run, that was the only question people asked me. Is there gonna be a coffee shop in the new library?
So I think some of that might address some of our younger, people's issues,
It's a big ask, but it's a real
Aspiration.
It's an
thing
inspiration.
people want.
I don't know where we make room, but I agree. If we can, that's
It is.
Well,
That's
good.
a garden.
Yeah.
There you go. Community hub. I do feel like in general, making that space more of a hub in whatever way. We already have it up there, community hub, meet and connect, but whether, a coffee bar would help facilitate that.
Coffee trucks,
More
like a lab
a
and.
different furniture,
I'm just saying.
other than just the tables, like there's small pedal tables are so difficult.
People literally choose to go to other libraries because of the coffee shop.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We have multiple channels.
Elmhurst and Glenelg.
I know, but Elmhurst has there's many reasons.
but some libraries, it would be nice to have some, to be able to borrow bigger items to try it out, like, I don't know if it's like appliance, like. I've also seen on,
Library of things.
the library thing,
Yeah.
like, especially for people with, it's helpful for people with disabilities to like try out like like. Appliances, can I do this before I buy it, type stuff, am I physically able, like, it's very.
Yeah.
So I've sometimes to be like a school library that they have. in the city.
West one has a gadget wall, literally, like, you can just take out whatever the gadget is.
Okay.
It's a little item.
So I mean, maybe that's another thing where we could partner. If somebody in Lombard already has something like this, then maybe we can work with them. to
Connect
say,
people to
yeah.
that service.
Just
Yeah.
whatever it is, it could be Blu-ray disc, like, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you're able to borrow it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Right.
things I've never even heard of, and I have to pick them, like, oh.
So that passes at the desk, I just wanna bring it up to the team, you don't have to go down the board. I would love, if a book is over 500 pages, if I can get more than 3 weeks. I really, really will, especially with people.
Should
You can get six.
Yeah, but if someone's waiting,
So-
you don't always have
Well,
options.
that's true.
Yeah, and if you have, like, I was trying to read, a suitable boy, which is like 1,000 pages. And I ended up just buying it. So I didn't want to
That's
do
my
it after, because I was like, I wanna finish this book. So, I know, the only reason I ask is because we do that, I know, for when we have, like, if you're taking out a series, you're gonna binge watch, you can get that for 2 weeks.
Oh, for
So,
DVDs?
yeah, so a parallel program for books.
I don't know if this is aspirational, but some comments, like, I do agree that our hours are great, I love being open later and having Sunday hours, but I know, like. When I ran with, like, some people are like, is there a possibility for earlier Sunday hours, like, cause there's no place to go.
Ending hours,
To study.
Oh.
Right, to one,
Yeah, to one, right, so it's just aspirational. I don't know if it's possible.
Okay. Any other, I think we're getting close to our time for this section. Any last minute thoughts, Sue? Do you have any other last minute aspirations?
Nope.
Okay.
We're all sufficient.
It's a lot.
No, I think it's a great list and went all the way to the bottom. We're out of space. So we're on our last section. So results. So I think this is largely addressing how will we know we're successful as we start to kind of put this stuff into practice with the strategic plan. So three is good because we don't want too many metrics we need to track. So I think that is, we'll boil these down into something that is manageable. Yeah, this is not, it's not definitive. So it's just kind of brainstorming about what is important to us as an organization to track to kind of measure success. This can be quantitative, it can be qualitative. So again, there's really no right or wrong answer with this. It's just kind of to help us keep some on track as we start to implement the strategic plan. So with that, I'll open it up. Does anybody have any?
So I guess we'll know that some of our aspirations and goals work when members from other parts of Lombard feel like, this is a regular place they come. Somehow we'll know, right, either we survey them or we see more library cards issued to that part of town or to the new parts of town, because it's not just your neighborhood, but also, right, there are two major areas where Lombard's kind of.
Or maybe, I don't know if there's a way to, like, if we track activity for people that are in that part, because you may have a card, but you may not be using it.
Right, exactly.
So,
But getting a card, because
Is
a
the first
lot
step.
of new people will be coming in to this new housing, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see cards go up and then also usage. So-
Increase library card registration, increase usage. And tracking usage by geographies
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing.
yes, I think that would be helpful. Do we do that by like demographics? Do we?
We do not collect any demographic information. The only thing demographic information we collect is age, essentially.
So,
We have
but
their
to Sue's
addresses
point
though,
that,
don't
Yeah, we
we?
have, yes, we can, we have address, we can do geography, yes,
yes,
but we don't know who, anything demographic wise other than age is the only thing
then
that,
to Sue's point that 25 to 40, if there's a sweet spot where we're missing,
yes.
should we?
Yeah, we can identify,
Yeah, we
we
can look and
potentially
see.
can identify
Okay.
that by
See
demographic,
what,
so.
the people in that group, what library services are they using?
Yeah, so I think from what I'm hearing, then yes, so it's increased library usage in certain areas.
Mhm.
Tracking usage in geographies and potentially age groups or, segments.
By age group. Oh, because we collect age.
Yes, you have to provide a birth date
Okay.
for your card.
It's not 100% foolproof, right? Like, I mean, I could check out a book for somebody else in my house.
Yes,
And so
no,
but it still
Right.
Yes,
gives us the idea of, is somebody.
It's a
in that
guide.
age group using, yeah.
yes, it's a guy, it's not.
Because
It's,
then we can know, I guess what I'd be interested in is, are we addressing needs across the board
Mhm.
for everybody? Are we seeing the majority of our people are coming for the technology stuff and, not
So-
using any of the other things?
so I'm hearing
That'd be
you
useful.
also tracking by how people are using the library, because according to the library card, because I mean, yes, so there's checkouts, there's room reservations. If you reserve it online, you have to put a library card in. events, you
But if you
can,
walk in, it can be anybody, right?
yeah, we can't tell.
And the computer's the same way, you can walk in and.
You can sign with the library card on the computer. We see that usage, or you can use a guest pass and
Okay, but
then we
so
don't
you
know.
don't have to be.
Then we
okay.
don't know. But if they use, anytime you use your library card, that is typically
Okay.
tracked. And we,
But do we collect stats to say how many non-library or people sign in with the guest pass?
yes, yeah, we
Okay.
can see that.
So it'd be kind of nice to compare that, I guess, but that all falls under the demographic, how do we split the data, how do we slice and dice it?
So,
Are there like barometers that the ALA recommends as like, these are the things you should look at to assess the health of your library? Like, I mean, as opposed to us just kind of saying, let's look at this and that, do you know what I mean?
I mean, they have like, I don't think they have like metrics or say like, you should have 50% market saturation in the library card use. They don't do anything like that.
But do they say what metrics we should be collecting? I thought that's.
I mean,
Right,
there's the
yeah.
there's IPLAR data that we
Yeah.
do collect and that we do report on.
And that's what was in here.
Yeah.
I think what you're suggesting though is much deeper,
Yes,
and potentially more. And I'd rather focus on that than what we're already collecting, because what we collect regulars, what you saw last week.
Yeah,
Right, what we show you month to month in our statistics generally, it's very topical. Or specific,
Yeah.
when they check out.
it's very summary.
So we
Summary.
can track then how many hours, right, a given your room is used a day?
Yeah. we can-
Okay, so we can check this out?
I think so. I mean, you should be able to
I
see,
think
you should be able.
Could we right now? I don't.
No, now it's a lot of work. I did take a look at the data.
Yeah.
So typically with the study room, you should be able to see a start and end time, and then you'd have to do some, math to figure it out. In
Right.
theory, it's possible.
If it can be
But-
done programmatically,
but
that'd be the best, right?
But I would say the goal, if I'm hearing you right, is just more substantive, descriptive statistics to gauge usage.
And to actually-
What that would be.
Cause my concern with this was that it looked like it went down, but it may not necessarily have gone down. The
Yes.
rooms may be just as busy as always. The stats that we have right now don't show that, and that's what I wanted to kind of help us uncover is, are we fully utilizing the resources? And then who's using them?
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
So.
although I would say. In terms of how much demographic stuff we're gonna try to slice and dice. In terms of staff resources, I wouldn't wanna. I don't know how much time or who would be doing that if it's you, but I would always be thinking of, okay, what are we actually gonna do with that information? Do you know what I mean? Because
Yes.
if it's not going to change what we're doing, or, you know what I'm saying?
Actionable.
What are we doing with the information?
Yeah, interesting, actionable, not just interesting.
Right,
Yeah. I think a guiding principle.
I agree, I don't like collecting data just to collect data.
right.
But. Yeah, I think. Okay, no, we can get this later.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's a very good point to keep in mind. Absolutely.
Which isn't technically a result, but we're gonna put it down.
No, I think, yeah, so. I think it's how we measure results should be actionable, so. Okay. Sue, did you have any results that you think that would be a good barometer for success?
Well, I know we only have so many postcards or surveys to send out every year, but it would be nice to hear from some people that don't use the library, why they don't use the library.
Mhm.
And see if we can't address some of those reasons other than, is marketing the issue? Do we need to put up flyers, hand out flyers at the commuter train every couple of months because I don't know how many people are reading the 411.
I'm gonna put that under opportunities, learn why, folks that use library.
Yeah. Engaging non-library users,
How would you find those people though?
non-library users.
Would we look at the people that have cards but haven't done checkout in the last 6 months or something, or last year? That'd be one.
Yeah, I mean,
people.
I think that'd be yeah, we could segment based upon
But
usage to
just
see.
have library
But
cards. Do we have
people who
that?
don't have library cards.
I was gonna suggest kind of maybe it's an aspiration or opportunity, but when we have like these new townhouses or communities going up. Maybe we partner with a builder to say, hey, or the village or something to say, by the way, here's your library, here's how you get a card. Here's the library website or whatever.
Yeah.
We send a
postcard for new residents.
Sorry?
We send postcards.
Okay.
For new
Okay.
residents.
Okay,
We just started that.
okay. We could ask the village to do something like that, so you know where to go for public, or, like they should have like a welcome packet
Like a
for new
welcome
home residents, I don't know. If they do that, but that's not us, that's them, but if we're reaching out to new people, that's. fine.
Could be an opportunity though.
So I'm looking at this first question, what matters most to our stakeholders?
Mhm.
And that brings to mind something that people come to the library for, but they can't find it because we don't have it.
Mhm.
Is there a way to connect with, maybe you're already doing this with collections, but it just was a coincidence. I came looking for a travel book about Greece. It seemed like a general information thing. There really wasn't any, reference, in the shelf. And then my son-in-law just came looking for something about Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And there wasn't anything. So I'm just wondering of communication, how that's done, how the collections, how are the collections built, what input is there input from the surveys that goes to the people who are purchasing the collections?
Isn't there a place on the website to request a book? I know on
Yeah,
Libby there is.
we definitely have requested a book, but I think to
I
your
mean-
point, yes, how are we meeting those needs? Because if people don't
Yeah.
fill it out, they don't know about.
How do we find out what the,
Yeah.
our cardholders want? Other than what they already get? I mean, is there an invitation for input about the collections?
I put folks find what they need, that would be good, right? The how, we're gonna worry about later.
Yeah, right.
I had written something down about, in terms of listening, I mean, the staff is like the conduit, really. So they're really listening in small ways on a daily basis, so not just what do people want in the collection, but when they're having conversations, if there's stuff that comes up, like feedback that they get, like, well, with the chair, like, God, the chairs are so uncomfortable, I wish you guys had this. Is there any process in place, like, today,
So the
someone
result,
mentioned
so the
this,
result would be
or someone mentioned
system in place.
they think it's too loud, or they wondered if food is allowed, you know what I
We
mean?
need staff to log customer.
Is there any kind of like customer feedback, even for just the staff?
So the result is
But I'm
staff
trying to
is
result
heard.
staff is heard, because I'm trying not to
Right.
engage in the brainstorm.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So the result would be staff is heard, and
Staff
the
is-
result would be,
Staff is heard.
there's a system in place that
Takes
takes the feedback
Conduit.
and brings it a conduit to the,
Okay.
right, so that would be the
Okay,
result.
well, so staff is heard, but also that the patron
Patrons
is
are,
heard
right, patrons are.
through the staff, but also staff having their own feedback. I
Yeah,
guess it's both.
Both.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whatever, you're the process people, but the
Right.
point is,
The result would be.
patron is heard and staff is heard from their own experience with the interactions, yeah.
I think we closely approaching our hour. So I think let's wrap up results and then we can wrap up this discussion, so.
You can be a Toastmaster timer,
Okay.
right?
Sue, did you have any last minute results or anything that you want to share?
Well, I personally love it when the checkout staff say, did you find everything you were looking for today? I don't always hear it all the time. I pay attention when I come in, when I'm browsing, when I leave, what I'm hearing how staff interacts with patrons. But maybe staff gets a little bored with asking that question. But I think it's an important way to get that conversation going where they can't find Gatlinburg or Greece. Because not everyone knows we have a suggestion box even.
Mm-hmm. That's
So I think that is in line with patrons are heard, staff is heard.
I'm just gonna write down outstanding customer service.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Unless anybody has any additional results.
The only other thing I wrote down is sharing above stats in the newsletter, of the 411, sorry.
Sharing stats.
Sharing, just, and I know we do that with our surveys, we've done stuff like that,
Mhm.
but any new demographics or whenever we have like a card holder. Don't we have a card holder day or
Like a drive, September library card sign up.
drive or
Yeah.
this year we've added this many, any stats we can share to show.
Oh, like we did the. police
Success,
park
'cause
when we
I took
first
that,
opened,
you had a question, how do we define and demonstrate success
Yeah.
in the community? So anything that
Okay.
we're
Data,
achieving,
data story.
sharing with that. Thank you, that's excellent, data storytelling.
And on that note, like even the
There's a name
data that
for
were,
it.
the notes that were in the IFLAC summary last week, like about the 90%.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Mhm.
I've not been, those numbers are not right, but you know.
Celebrating successes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are like, wow, my library rocks.
Right. It's quite down celebrate our success. Did you see that?
I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I think these are all great. So,
So next steps.
yeah, so next up, so we are gonna be sending out, I'm sorry, do you wanna say? Okay.
It's actually been nice being quiet, but difficult, because I wanted to share so much, and it wasn't today's job, so. We will be sending you a survey in case you think of something else. If you feel like we've absolutely captured everything today that you wanted to say, don't worry about filling it out. And then what are we doing after this? So the next part is creating those bigger strategic goals. And eventually bringing that to the board as that, are we on the right track? So those are the big idea goals of what are the big things that we wanna see happen and as we move forward. And then, yeah.
And those big goals will take into account the other feedback you've gotten, right?
Yes, and they're probably going to be relatively general. Because the concept for the strategic plan is like, here's the big goal, we provide excellent customer service. And then year to year, how are we supporting that goal in our services and our staff training and what we do as a board, right? So yeah, I think next step, we have to think about what we have, we're gonna assess the data we have from all the different sources. And it'll probably be 2 months before we present those initial goals for review, and then we'll have a larger plan ready for the November. So October is like initial, hey, gut reaction. November is a little bit of a deeper dive. And then we'll move forward on that or not, so. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm. That was a really brief summary of what's next. It's gonna take a lot of time and effort, but. Yeah.
So thank you to both of you, this is not a easy task, and we appreciate it.
Let's
To
team
put
effort.
all of this input into something actually.
Principles for the future.
Mhm. I'm curious, did anything resonate with you all today? As we reflect on this, or?
No, it's quite a list.
That's a broad question.
It is a
What
broad
do you
question.
mean
I'm
by
saying,
that?
I'm just kind of curious, like, I'm surprised, it sounds like we're all on the same page, or it's just like, this, where I think about this is definitely where I want to see the library go, kind of a thing. I don't know, just like anything that is like, this is.
Well, I would say on that note, like we were all on the same page again, like not to speak words, but like, on a lot of the stuff, we were like, oh, adding on to each other's, we already thought of it, but also. A lot of positives, like.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like big kind of
Yeah.
thinking things too, so I really like that. I would.
That's a long list of.
Yeah,
Considerations, yeah.
No, well, later.
Yeah. You wanna add something else on there?
No, I'm gonna make a comment, but I'll wait till we.
I had not thought about the whole garden.
Yeah.
thing.
I really like the idea of a rooftop garden. Do we have
Rooftop
space on the
garden,
roof that
yeah,
we
I was
could-
like, wow.
The idea of a rooftop garden based on the staircase that gets to the rooftop,
Oh.
you guys, I think would hate it.
It's
Okay.
again, the ladder and the trapdoor.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
It's an aspiration.
Yeah.
Like finding a way, right?
Sue, did you have any last minute thoughts or anything that resonated with you through this process?
No, nothing that I can add at this time.
So look for email from you then? Yes. Okay, is
All
there
right.
anything else?
Yeah, I think we
All
made
right.
it underneath an hour.
Good. Can I have a
Good job,
motion
team.
To adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Sue. Appreciate you participating virtually.